Korean, like they're always just like so expressive, and then like 애교. Oh, 귀여워. It's crazy to me. 안녕하세요. 저는 미국에서 온 메간입니다. 안녕. 8 months in total. I lived in China, and there was a missionary Korean couple that opened a cafe near my house. I knew nothing about Korea at all, but my friend said, oh, they're Korean people that own this cafe. I was like, Korean. Where is Korea? I had heard of it, but that was it. I knew nothing about K-pop. I knew nothing about Korean culture. And my friend really liked K-pop. So she said, oh, you don't know K-pop? You don't know Korea? My friend told me about Korea, the cafe people. I tried to learn a little Korean. Just, 안녕하세요. And they were like, whoa! They were very happy that I tried. 커피 주세요. Whoa! So yeah, that is how I got to know a little bit about Korea. So many people tell me, oh, Korean, they have good food. Everyone's like, oh, barbecue is so good, but I have never tried before. I know nothing. But I go back to America and I live in Atlanta. There's a Koreatown near there. So I learned so much because they have Korean cafes, Korean restaurants. I actually worked at Korean barbecue. I was a server and I cooked all the meat, and I would show people, oh, look, sam, and show them, oh, kogi, and they'd be like, whoa! They have never had Korean barbecue either. So my friend really wanted to come to Korea, and in China, we have 1 week vacation. So she said, oh, I really want to go to Korea. And I said, oh, I can go with you so you are not by yourself. So she said, you will love the food because you love spicy food. I love spicy food. So I learned about the food and then the culture, a lot of how to be polite. I wanted to learn about Korea because I think it is respectful to go to the country and think like, okay, how can I join this society rather than like, I'm American, do everything American. Like I want to come and, oh, 안녕하세요, and like 2 hands, like, oh, you know, things like this. So she would teach me a little bit about how to be respectful and kind to people in Korea. In college, I studied American Sign Language, which is talking like with your hands. In our textbooks, many textbooks will say deaf culture and Asian culture are very similar. It's a big word, but Americans are very individualistic. We think more about ourselves, and a lot of Asian societies and the deaf culture are collectivistic, means you think of other people before yourself. You think we, and America, we think I. So I was very curious to learn more about being in a culture that thought of we rather than I. So I was very curious to learn more about like, oh, what is this like we culture? And then the food. The food is so good. American food, it has no flavor. I love spicy food, and in America we cannot eat spicy food. Oh, so maybe the first thing I think of when you ask is 휴지, so the toilet paper. Oh. In China, you always have to bring with you. So to the bathroom, there's no toilet paper. So when I came to Korea, I thought, okay, I need to buy all this toilet paper. And I go to the bathroom, oh, it's always here. And then sometimes in Korea, you can just put the 휴지 in the toilet. Not always, but in China, never. Where I live in China, they have the trough. So it's like you stand and it's like a big hole in the ground. Always the squatting toilet. So when I come to Korea, I go, oh, that's a normal toilet. I'm so happy. Okay. Oh, bidet, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, it's so strange. I go to the bathroom and then I'm like, where do I go? It's very strange. Oh, okay, anyways. Right now, I study Korean at Sogang University. I love it. It's a very good school to learn how to speak Korean, and that is my goal. I want to speak Korean fluently. Also, I make YouTube videos to help other people coming to Korea, and so like I need to live in Korea to make videos about living in Korea. So I came back to learn Korean and then make videos to help people. I want to learn Korean because it is easier to live in Korea. You feel more comfortable. I really want to make friends in Korea and learn more about the culture and have a more authentic experience. When you don't know Korean, there's like a language barrier and the friendship can't be close. You have a better experience when you care about the people and you care about the culture. It's good to be really respectful if you're going to travel. The first time I heard it was in my friend showed me a K-drama and I was like, wow, and it's very beautiful. Have you heard of every person thinks there's one language that is like the love language to them? It's something that they hear it and they think it sounds so beautiful. If you speak to me in Korean, I'm like, oh, wow. I love it. I don't know why. Yeah. Well, especially like the Busan dialect. 뭐하노? They're always like singing so much. But Korean in general, there's so much emotion when you speak. Like I can say a sentence, it can sound very monotone, but that never happens with Korean. Like they're always just like so expressive. And then like 애교, that's so crazy to me. So it's crazy to me. Oh my gosh, yeah. Because I met the cafe owners who were Korea, it's what opened my world to Korea. I was interested in it. And then when I went back to America and made more Korean friends, it gave me more of a desire to go myself to Korea. And now my whole life is like so changed because I make videos, I'm learning Korean, I'm living in Korea. I never thought I would live in Korea. So yeah, completely changed my life. Oh yeah, I never ever thought I would live in Korea. I like living not in America, so I knew I wanted to live in another country, but I did not think it would be Korea. That's for sure. I did not. The style of everything. The style is very artistic. Korea cares a lot about your appearance. So like usually people dress really well or they have their makeup done. They always look really nice. So many places like cafes or just the street, there is like a random picture place. It's beautiful and people will take pictures there. In America, maybe a cafe is just like Starbucks. There's nothing maybe very pretty about it. You just go to Starbucks to sit and work or drink coffee and talk. Whereas here, people will go to the cafe because it's pretty, like take pictures. And that is the same for many things. Maybe some restaurants are just pretty and so people want to go because they're just beautiful. But I think that the most important difference is the food is so different and the culture of how you eat and cook. Like in America, you don't ever cook in front of you. Like that is like a crazy, and if it is a restaurant like that, we have a few, they're very expensive. Oh, man! I was so, okay, my friend was just sitting there looking at this robot. He was just like, there goes the robot. Meanwhile, I am literally like, it's a robot with food. And he's like, yeah, so? And I'm over here like, it's a robot. I was so surprised. I was so surprised. America never. We've never ever had things like this. It's so crazy to me. I want people to know how to live in Korea, but I hope one day my videos can be more educational about Korea and culture, but I don't feel like I know enough yet. So right now I learn a lot about Korea and I will help people to do things, but maybe in the future I can help them. Today I talked about how my life changed after I made Korean friends and met many Korean people. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Annyeong!